On the other hand, the arrival of Gol Airline was a direct result of a policy decision taken to be more aggressive in the South American market.
That research quickly turned up that if we were going to approach Brazil as a marketplace, there were only two rail carriers that had the network across Brazil and the capacity to operate to Barbados. And of those two carriers, Gol was the only one whose outlook indicated that they may be interested in services to the Caribbean. At the time, the other airline, TAM, their expansion was more towards Europe and North America. Gol, on the other hand, was expanding aggressively to other South American countries, but they were also beginning to enter into the Caribbean region. They had initiated services to Aruba and to Curacao as well before Barbados.
It was on this basis that Gol was approached, and negotiations went on for some months.
We invited them to Barbados as well so that they could experience firsthand what the Barbados product is and understand why it is one that would sell in Brazil. And once we'd done that, we also undertook focus group research for the benefit of both sides so that Gol could understand how they needed to pitch their service. We could understand how we needed to pitch our marketing to the consumer. And after that, we signed a contract, and the marketing got started, and the service got started in June last year.
Some questions have been raised about the cost to the taxpayers in trying to woo airlines such as Gol.
The relationship with Gol is a revenue guarantee arrangement. It is no different from the relationship we have with WestJet, no different to the relationship we have with JetBlue, no different to the relationship we have with Condor. Obviously, carriers like American Airlines and Virgin and British Airways, because of the maturity of the relationship, there's no need for a revenue guarantee. This arrangement is the norm for destinations the world over. In order to get Airlift to come to your country, you have either a seat subsidy arrangement or a revenue guarantee arrangement. The revenue guarantee one is the preferable one because you're not locked in to pay for every seat on the aircraft. You have established a partnership. You can look at the price points. You can put other specials out in the market and try to see that the venture is profitable. And under a revenue guarantee arrangement, it is only when you fall below a certain level that you will have to subsidize. As far as Gol is concerned, there are occasions when, yes, we had to subsidize. And that is normal when you are now building a new market, a new service in a new market.
Minister Seeley noted that there have also been many occasions when the Gol flight has been full and has made money.
So the allegation that there is something unusual happening where Gol is concerned is just not correct. It is nothing that started with this government. It is nothing that is unique to Barbados. It happens the world over. It is actually the norm in the industry as far as the relationship between aviation and tourism. The only way you're going to get flights to come is if you can somehow ensure that they're going to make money. Now, it is true that you want to move away from those arrangements where you have a marketing relationship where you market together and just fill the planes. That is the stage that we're at with other players who have been coming to Barbados for a longer period. And we would want to see that JetBlue, WestJet, and Gol get to that point. And that's what we are striving to achieve.
Ideally, the rate of return which government looks for when it makes these types of investment is 7 to 1. That is, for every dollar spent, $7 would come back to the economy of Barbados.
In the case of Gol, which is going into, again, a new market, a relatively new market, because we have had Airlift previously from Brazil, but it was not quite organized in the manner that we're doing it now. More formal here. We're not going to see a 7 to 1 return naturally over the next, 2 or so years, but we have to work with it. It's a developmental project. Now, the WestJet relationship, for example, we saw a 13-to-1 return on that, 23-to-1 on JetBlue. But Toronto and New York are markets that we are, a little more established in. We have Barbadians that live there that come home, particularly during the summertime, round crop over, and of course for Christmas. So it's a different kind of scenario there. But we are satisfied that we can continue to stick with the GAL service. In fact, one of the discussions that we're having with GAL is that because we had such an excellent December and January, that it's quite likely that we may even have to look at maybe increasing the frequency for that period, where clearly Brazilians are enjoy to travel.
Efforts are also being made to encourage outbound tourism to Brazil.
We do have an arrangement with GAL where there's a very attractive fare that they're prepared to offer to Barbadians that want to go to Brazil. And when you consider not only the tremendous opportunities for business people, Brazil is going to be the venue of the next World Cup of football in 2014. It will also be the venue of the Olympic Games in 2016. So in Rio de Janeiro actually was the city that will be hosting the Olympics in 2016. So there's going to be a great pull factor going into Brazil as well from that side of things. And again, that also helps to develop the flight in terms of making it more viable. And from a tourism point of view, the more Barbadians that we have down there as well, they're the best ambassadors for our destination. So it works. It is a win-win relationship, if I could put it that way.
The minister remains cautiously optimistic that the tourism industry is recovering from the slump which was a consequence of the worldwide recession.
We had a very rough period there going into 2008, 2009, issues relating to that were beyond our control, a hostile global economic environment, and there was a general decline in travel and tourism the world over. And that was for the first time in over a decade. For as long as the World Travel and Tourism Organization was collecting statistics, they actually saw a decline in 2009, very unusual. We seem to be past that, and we're seeing increased activity, certainly in North America. And even the UK is now saying that they're starting to see their exports and so pick up, which would suggest that their economy is starting to get back on track. And therefore, we are in a good position to get some more business for Barbados. I would also make the point, which is relevant to our discussion, that the airlift capacity is there. And because of government's deliberate decision to make sure that we have adequate air links from most of the major capitals in our source markets, that then we can definitely grow our numbers going forward. I said cautious optimism because we are aware of the fact that there's still some occurrences the world over, the instability in the Middle East, questions of the price of oil may start climbing back up again. So we still have to monitor that situation, because if the price of oil goes up, that will certainly have a direct relationship on the cost of travel and will necessarily require us to look carefully at these many challenges.